Assalamu alaikum students. This is Farwa Batul, your O-level computer science instructor, and welcome to another video for chapter number 8 programming. So we are doing condition control loops. Inside the condition control loops, you have two different types. First one is a precondition loop, and the second type is your post condition loop. So we are actually discussing precondition loops. I have already made a video using a post-condition loop in Python as my programming language. So if you are interested in Python, you can go ahead and see the previous video. This video is all about using Visual Basic as my programming language in order to implement a precondition loop. And the precondition loop that we are using here is known as the while loop. Let me quickly tell you about a while loop. In the while loop, you are going to specify a condition at the beginning and this condition depends upon this condition, the code that will be inside your loop is going to run. Yes, what it means? It means that if your condition is true, then you are going to have the iterations. If the condition becomes false, then you will be having no more iterations, or in other words, the loop is going to terminate. Now let me quickly move towards the syntax of while loop in Visual Basic. We will start with the while keyword. I'm going to explain you the same code that is mentioned in your book. So in Visual Basic, you are starting with the while keyword. Then you will specify your condition. The condition mentioned is total weight. Total weight is actually an integer variable that must not be less than 100. Actually, the value of your total weight is going to be examined in each iteration. So when the value reaches 100, you are going out of your loop. Otherwise, if the value is less than 100, what you will do, you will go inside your loop and you are going to update the total weight value. So total weight is going to be updated as total weight plus weight. So in each iteration, in every iteration, there is some value in the weight variable, that is another integer variable. This value will be added into the previous value of total weight so that you are going to have a new value or an updated value for total weight. So I will tell you everything how this code is actually going to run. Just give me a few minutes. Okay. One more thing, important thing is that when you will start with your while loop, you have to end your while loop by using the keyword end while. This is very important in Visual Basic. This specifies the end of your loop. Okay, so I hope that this is clear to you. Let me just initiate two variables that are being used here. So I will be adding something into my code. Look at here. First thing I need is to declare the two variables. The first one is the total weight variable that you are using inside your loop. It is going to be an integer value because it is compared in your condition with 100. That's an integer number. So let's start it. Let's put 0 into your total weight variable in the beginning. Okay, next declare another variable that is being used in your loop, that is your weight variable. It is also integer because its value will be added into your total weight for every iteration. So let's make it 10. Let's put 10 into weight in the beginning. Okay, so one more thing that I want is to see the results or see the changes in the total weight. For this, what I will be doing, I am going to add an output statement inside my loop so that I will see that what is basically updated in the total weight variable. What is? What's the value of it? So use console.writeLine, that is your syntax for output statement, and inside the round brackets just mention the variable whose value you want to print on the screen. And then after these to statements, that's your loop statements. You just mention and while to specify the end of your loop. So this is all about my code. Now I'm going to run this code, or I will tell you that how we can trace this and see the outputs. Okay. In the beginning, what I will be doing, I will show you that inside the memory, you are actually saving the values of two variables. First one is a total weight that will be updated, and the second one is your weight. Okay, the initial values depends upon your code are 0 and 10. So let me put 0 in total weight value and put 10 in the weight value. And we will make the changes specified in the loop. Now let's start with your while loop. The first time when the condition will be checked, the total weight value is 0. So 0 less than 100, this condition becomes true. Okay, let me use another color. When you will check the condition 0 less than 100, since the condition is true here, so what you will be doing actually, you will go inside your loop structure and you will run the code that is mentioned inside. So be very careful. Inside the loop, it's total weight equals total weight plus weight. Total weight is 0 right now. 0 plus 10 becomes 10. So total weight value is 10 for the first iteration. Now, this 10 is going to be displayed on your output screen. So let's make an output over here. And for the first iteration, you will see 10 on your screen. Now, let's quickly move towards the second iteration. In the second iteration, now the condition becomes 10 less than 100 because the new value, the updated value of total weight is 10. 10 less than 100, the condition is true. So now total weight becomes 10 plus 10, which is 20. So for every iteration, the total weight is actually incremented by 10 because the weight value is fixed as 10. So it is 20 now. 20 will be displayed on your output and also make the changes in memory as well. Total weight is 20 now, whereas weight value is 10, that is fixed. Now let's move towards the third iteration. You will check for the condition first. So it becomes 20 less than 100, which is true. Now make the changes in total weight. Total weight becomes 20 plus 10, which is 30. Make the changes in memory, and this 30 will be printed on your output screen. 30 will be printed for the third iteration. Now, in order to move towards fourth iteration, when you will check your condition, it is 30 less than 100, which is true. When the condition is true, you will go inside the loop to make changes in total weight. So 30 plus 10 becomes 40. Let's just quickly change the value of total weight and print 40 on the screen for the fourth iteration, 40. Now next is your fifth iteration. Condition will be 40 less than 100, which is true. So 40 plus 10 becomes 50 for the fifth iteration. So for this, make the changes in the memory 50, and for the fifth iteration the value to be shown on your output will be 50. Now let's move towards the sixth iteration and see the condition. Now the condition will be 50 less than 100. Since the condition is true, you have to go inside the loop and calculate total weight as 50 plus 10 becomes 60. So 60 is your new value. You will save it on the in the memory 60 for total weight, and in the sixth iteration 60 will be printed on your output. Now for the seventh iteration, what you will do, you will see the condition first. Condition will be 60 less than 100. Since the condition is true, total weight becomes 60 plus 10. It is 70 now. So 70 will be your updated value and it will be shown on the screen as well as your output for the seventh iteration. 7070. Now let's move towards the eighth iteration. See the condition. 7 less than 100. Condition is true. Go inside the loop and update your total weight as 80. 80 is your new updated value. Make the changes in the memory and print results in on the screen. So now the new result for total weight is 80. Okay. Now the next thing is your ninth iteration. For the ninth iteration, when you will check for the condition is now 80 less than 100, which is true. So the changes becomes 80 plus 10, that is 90. 90 is going to be your updated value for total weight. Let's make the changes in the memory 9090 and we will print 90 on the output screen for your ninth iteration. Now for the 10th iteration, you will check with 90 less than 100. So that is true. Now let's quickly change the value of total weight to 100. 90 plus 10 is 100. So this time you have to make changes into total weight as 100. 100. And for the 10th iteration, the value to be printed on a screen is 100 for your total weight. Now when you are going to move for the 11th iteration and you will see the condition. So look at this. Now this time it is 100 less than 100. For the 11th iteration, you are not going inside your loop since the condition is false. 100 cannot be less than 100. 100 can only be equals to 100. So the condition is false. You are no more going to make changes in total weight and there will be nothing more printed on the screen. You will just go to end while and then the loop is going to terminate. So this is actually your expected result. This is the expected output that must be visible on your screen. Now I am quickly moving towards my VB editor in order to show you this code practically. Okay, so go to Google and search for a Visual Basic online compiler. I already made the bookmark over here. I'm just quickly opening this. I will hide the window here and I will just delete this output statement. I'm going to write down my own code for the while loop that I have just explained you. First, I have to declare two variables and initialize them with some value. Okay, first is my weight variable as integer. Put the value 0 into it. Next, you have the total weight variable as integer. And let's put the value 10 into it. No, sorry, I did reverse of it. Total weight must be 0 and weight variable must be 10 for the initial values. Now, let's start with your while loop. Use the while keyword and then the condition will be total weight must be less than 100. Now go inside your loop. When the condition is true, what you will do, you will calculate your total weight as total weight equals total weight plus weight. Okay. Next, I'm using console dot write line. Console dot write line in order to see the results of my total weight for each iteration. In the round bracket, write down total weight to examine its updated values. Okay, next what you have to do, you have to just write down end while to specify the end of your while loop. That's it. This is your desired code. Now let me run it and see the output. Okay, Here we go. I'm just going to make output little big. The compilation is successful. The output starts from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this is actually the expected output every time the total weight will be incremented by 10. And you will be having total 10 iterations in this case, depends upon your condition. If you will make the changes in your condition, let's suppose I make it 200. So now this time you are going to have double iterations than before. So it will be 20 iterations. Let's see that. So total weight will keep on calculating till you will reach 200. So this time you can see that we started with value 10 and then keep on incrementing it with 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So it becomes 100, 110, 120, 130, 140 till 200. When the total weight value reaches 200, then for the 21st iteration, in this case, the condition becomes false and you will be having no more iterations after 20. And one more thing is that in precondition loops, if your condition becomes false for the first time, let's suppose the total weight was um, is 100 that I set already in the beginning. If it is 100 and if the condition says that total weight must be less than 100. So in this case, what will happen if you will check the condition for the first time? So 100 less than 100 means that the condition becomes false. This is very, very important in precondition loops, that if the condition becomes false even for the first time, then you will never have any iteration or you will have zero iteration. So let me just quickly show you this. Let's run it. In this case, see, the compilation is successful, but you will see no results here for total weight because there are no iterations. The loop never run in this case because condition was false for the first iteration. So this is what actually I wanted to teach you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that while loop in Visual Basic is clear to you. Now just do whatever you want here and stay tuned, stay connected. Do not forget to subscribe the channel because in the next video we are going to use the while loop in Java. That is another big and important programming language. Stay tuned, stay connected. Bye bye.